Hello everybody, this is Mr. 831, back with the old 486 again. Thought I'd do something a little bit different. This is a casual playthrough of Putt-Putt Travels Through Time. This is being done in post-commentary. And this is being played on the computer that I first played this game on when I was little. So that makes it a bit unique in that regard. The thing that really makes this a bit more unique from playing it on any other computer is, you know, it's really slow. So, anyway, give some background on this. I first got this game, I think when I was like 4 years old, in a 2-pack with Putt-Putt and Pep's Balloon-O-Rama. And it came in the, what was called the Putt-Putt Deluxe pack. And, not only did it include the 2 games, it also included a Putt-Putt wristwatch, which was kind of cool. It had like this little detachable toy, and like if you looked inside Putt-Putt's dash, you could see the time. So, yeah, I don't have that watch anymore, unfortunately, but, yeah, so, I'm sure you had noticed, I had pulled the game up in Program Manager, which, as you know, is a Windows 3.1 thing. And I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about that, so I'll just answer that now. I don't have the hard drive attached to this computer that has Windows 95 on it. That's my childhood hard drive. I instead have it attached to a compact flash card that has Windows 3.1 installed. So, yeah.
Here's my coin.
You know, what really makes this unique compared to playing it on any other computer is just... This has the Trident video card, and if you've seen the video on my 486, you'll know that the video card in this computer is absolutely awful. It's from 1992, and it is not meant to play games like this, to say the least. You'll notice there's a lot of slowdown, and something that's almost hypnotic about this is, like, between every screen it wipes from bottom to the top.
Here we are, Pep.
There's really not a whole lot of difference between playing this on Windows 3.1 versus 95. I think the major difference is the wipes go in the opposite direction. I don't know what that's about. And then the cursor has this annoying flickering problem. You'll notice that the cursor flickers constantly throughout this video. That's Windows 3.1's fault. There's also a lot more loading times when you play it on this computer. I also need to apologize about all the shimmering that's going on in this video. I don't know, I guess the capture card doesn't like the Trident card very much. It doesn't look like that when you plug it into a computer monitor, but you may not even notice the shimmering if the quality is set low enough. Or if you're like watching it on a phone, it's probably really hard to tell.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, a lot of the scenes that are like up close, there's a lot of lag because of how bad this video card is. Like, you can see right here, there's just so much screen tearing, and it just can't keep up. And the music goes completely off sync as well. Well, not in this scene because there's no music specific to this scene, but you'll see when we put the coin in, the music just doesn't keep up with the action at all. The other thing you might have noticed when I took out the coin, it was a black and white cursor. Windows 3.1 does not support color cursors. So, they actually have a separate set of cursors just for playing the game on Windows 3.1. You can see even here it's kind of going a bit slow. And this part's always amusing. We barely even have time to look at Putt-Putt. There's just also a lot of stutter too because there's not a whole lot of RAM, and, you know, this isn't a Pentium processor, so it just can't keep up with the action as well as a slightly more recent computer could. One of the things that really makes this computer show its age is the CD drive. The CD drive is nowhere near as good as it used to be. It stutters quite often. There's only one part where it really affects this playthrough, but it frequently chokes and just doesn't know what to do.
Once you find all your things, we can close this time portal for good. You be careful, Putt-Putt, and good luck!
So one of the things you're going to notice is that if you are the least bit familiar with this game, you know that the portals are probably supposed to be shimmering right now. Very little known fact about these games is that there's actually a special mode that they enable if your video card is too slow, or if it finds the video speed is too slow. Oh, this is kind of interesting. I went into here to look at the system info. Video speed is 8. Good grief. Yeah, so if the video speed's too low, they enable a mode called Slow Machine Mode, and it disables a bunch of different animations to make sure it doesn't choke up the computer. So that's pretty interesting. So the game looks and feels quite a bit different as a result. You know, I actually don't think I ever remember clicking on those guys when I was little, so I really don't have any memories of this song. Is gone, and everything's wrong, but it won't take her long. Of course it will, because the seems to be lagging quite a bit.
Goes on forever?
You see the old west
And visit a king.
and see dinosaurs.
And really neat future things.
When you return, you'll know what you'll learn.
Pay close attention. Stay on your mission.
To see new dimensions.
And when you look up,
you'll know that
time doesn't stop.
because
It goes on.
Also, I must apologize about the artifacting. I don't know what the deal is. Sony Vegas just doesn't like these video files for whatever reason. It's not part of the original file, but whatever.
Whoa! This must be the future! I wonder what year it is.
Oh yeah, I used to love clicking on this telescope when I was little. Oh, this is always amusing.
Hello?
Putt! That always made me laugh when I was a kid.
Ah, yes.
Here goes.
Yeah, also worth mentioning, I tend to visit the time periods in reverse order because it just seems like the game is set up for where that's most convenient. And something else mildly amusing about this part is that when I was running Humongous Fan soundtracks, and I was doing the music for this game, you know, I have like really nondescript file names, but they all signify what each music piece was, and for this character's theme, I didn't know her name at the time. I know it's Miss Electra now, but I didn't know her name when I was making the file, so I just made the file like Putt Time _ floating pink car who I forget the name of. It's just one randomly descriptive line. Oh yeah, that's also why I like to come to the future first, because I like to do the paint.
Welcome to the Paint-O-Rama 3000.
I just picked a random color. I didn't really have any rhyme or reason for it. I usually would pick yellow, but I've done that a lot in these past videos, and I would think people are sick of it by now.
Painting completed.
And then here comes the reused dialogue.
Experience has been a pleasant one.
I look good.
That's a particularly blatant one because Jason Ellefson's voice was maturing at this point, so it clashes quite badly. And then I didn't even do the battery minigame because it's boring. It kind of reminds me of that math minigame from Freddy Fish. You know, the math minigame that I'm pretty sure nobody ever played because it was boring. Oh man, this Fun Zone puzzle used to drive me crazy when I was little.
Wow! This fun zone looks
I remember I was first playing this with my sister, and I kept hitting the wrong button, and every time it happened, my sister would get so mad at me. Oh boy. Of course, now that I'm older, I've never forgotten the button order since then. Still remember it by heart. I'll never remember the answers to last week's history test, but I'll always remember yellow, red, red, yellow, yellow.
I made it to the other side! Alright!
And this minigame actually runs quite surprisingly well on this computer. But it's really not an interesting game at all. Hilarious that they actually thought arcade games would still be around in the future. Apparently the smartphone never happened in this time period. And I guess Texas is in outer space for whatever reason. Although, judging by most people's reaction to Texas, you would think that they thought it was from outer space.
Are you sure you want to...
As most of you know, I live in Texas. And everywhere else is what I call not Texas. Oh yeah, something I didn't go over was that when I was talking to Miss Electra, is that she gives you that balloon thing for free. Yeah, I'm not even sure why she says that, because in another game path, like when you get the battery, she's like, oh, there's no such thing as money in the future. So apparently this game was written by communists? I really don't know how else I can put it, but... Or was it written by socialists? Anyway, let's not start political arguments, because we have enough of those on the internet as it stands. I always love how for this time period, 3 of the 4 items are just going to be in this museum. Perhaps the only thing that won't be in the museum. And of course you have to do the puzzle that you probably did on another game path anyway.
What if I found you another ancient food container? Then could I trade it for my Smokey the Fire Engine lunchbox?
Yes, you could.
Great!
Also, how does he know that there were 4 million of these things manufactured? Like, where did he find that record?
Welcome to the library.
Excuse me, I'm Putt-Putt. I'm visiting from the past.
I love all those book parodies on the wall.
Where's all your books?
And you'll see why 1984 by 4 won't be like 1984. It's a reference to that classic Macintosh ad, if you didn't get it. And then there's also Mr. Firebird's Mr. Firebird's biography, because apparently that was book-worthy. I would totally read that. Also, they didn't predict the obsolescence of print books. It's kind of interesting. And I want to guess that pretty much everybody's favorite story was this one, the Pajama Sam Story. Let's be real here, you're lying if you said it wasn't. I'm just clicking on random words, I really have no rhyme or reason to this.
Sam sleeps all snug in his piano, covered with cozy feathers. He dreams his socks are all itty-bitty.
Exit.
Oh yeah, I remember I would sometimes just leave the cursor hovering on that exit sign, and it just keeps repeating it over and over again, and it gets annoying. Yeah, that's right, it was 8:55 at night when I was recording this. That clock matches your computer's internal clock.
To make it yourself pet food smorgasbord. You may make any kind of custom pet food simply by creating the animal you wish to
This minigame is kind of boring. I mean, you just match the animal and then you see it eat the food. It's more entertaining to give it the wrong food, to be honest. You can't skip him hitting the buttons either, so that's annoying.
Your order has been acknowledged and accepted.
Special delivery. Insta-food.
And you always know that the lunchbox is in the medieval times if he stores the bag in his dashboard before giving it to the animal. If it's not, then he just goes and gives it straight away to the animal. Alright, now to the Old West we go.
Wowie zowie! It's the Old West! A rope! This might come in handy.
Something that's kind of funny, I always like how when you, something that I always found amusing anyway, was how every time you examine the rope when it's in your inventory, he says, "It's say rope." Like, he says the long A sound as opposed to, "It's a rope." I don't know, I just thought the way he said it was always weird. God, this stutters so much you can almost see you can almost make out the detail in every single animation frame.
It's an oil can!
Hey, Sonny, you didn't show up a moment too soon. I'm looking to hire me a junior conductor. Pique your interest, son? Job pays a nickel.
Sure.
Apparently, no matter how much the years go by in this series, Putt-Putt never gets more than a few cents at a time.
As a creek bed in Indian summer.
I remember how Dishband made a comment about how it wouldn't be a humongous game if it didn't have an oil can. But I think only 2 of the games have, or I guess 3 of them do. Freddy Fish 2, Pajama Sam 1, and this game. But considering there was like 20 Junior Adventures, seems like a little bit of an overstatement.
You're welcome, Toby.
Say, I didn't catch your name.
My name's Putt-Putt.
Well, Putt-Putt, my partner, so far you've made a mighty fine junior conductor. Here's your pay, 1 round nickel.
Thanks, Toby.
And you hang on to that old can.
One little detail I always liked that they got was that the nickel in the Old West looks different from the nickel at the beginning of the game. I can't be the only one to have noticed that.
And for the life of me, I can't reach that spigot way up there on that water tower. How's about putting that noggin to work and finding something you can use to pull down that lever so you can fill me up?
I'll bet I can do that. Toby, I found a rope, and I think it's just the thing to do the trick.
I thought you'd be the kind of cowpoke who'd be handy with a rope trick.
That was like the way he did that, like a lasso. It looks so ridiculous like that. Something interesting that, or you may find interesting, is that, you know, I just said I was from Texas. I'm really not a fan of old Western stuff, though. Never been a fan of Western movies, never went through a cowboy phase.
I'm sure I'll take you up on it. It sounds like fun.
You know, I never liked cowboys that much. Unless it was Woody, but everybody loves Woody, right?
Buckaroo, where do you want old Toby to take you? Next stop, Gold River.
Excuse me, hello?
Oh yeah, this is one of the effects of slow machine mode. You can't hear the river, and also if you look to the left, you can't see the waterfall going.
Wow.
I think all the waterfalls look like that on slow machine mode.
What's that say? You wouldn't touch old, smelly liver? Well, that's very wise. Now, a nice plate of liver and onions, that'll put oil in your engine.
How does he know what an engine is? I mean, I guess the steam engine existed, but come on.
Well, looky here. Dang blam it. It's just a bunch of old rusty keys.
Excuse me.
Okay, I want to know how in the world he was able to throw out those keys and tip the pan upside down and then throw out another chunk of water after he turned it back right side up. Please explain to me how that worked. I think my entire reality is being defied.
All aboard for Hubcap Hill, Tire Flat's very own ghost town.
It's my calculator.
This totally isn't a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, thank gosh that that chest is down there at the worst possible
It's
time.
mine. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, and I picked the wrong key at first, because I wanted to show the animation of the keys moving happening. Because it's really slow.
This key doesn't fit.
I don't know, that was one of those little things that stuck with me for whatever reason. I have these random things that stick with me after all these years, and that's... I don't know, I just have all these, like, little tiny memories. I really don't know what it is. I love because of how slow that's going, you can clearly see that it doesn't actually show up until, like, the last frame. The actual key itself.
Excellent! I've got my calculator back. Now all I have to do is get Pep, my lunchbox, and my history report. So Mr. Firebird can close the time portal.
Hot and dry.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna do the Animal Tracks game.
Woody, look at that! Animal tracks! I wonder where they go!
I ended up picking the Mountain Lion Animal Tracks. I remember when I was little, I didn't see the arrow in the corner, I would get completely lost on this. You know, one really has to wonder how technology in this world works. I mean, these are all sentient vehicles, but were the advancements truly needed? And how did the advancements happen? I'm not even going to start asking questions like that.
A real
I would have clicked on the mountain lion here, but the disc is scratched on the animal tracks area for the dialogue for all the animals, and I just didn't want the game to crash, so I wasn't even going to chance it.
Hang on.
I used a disc repair on the CD, and it seemed to fix it, but like I said, the disk drive on this particular computer has seen better days, so I just didn't even want to deal with the possibility that the game could crash all because I decided to click on the mountain lion.
Here's a nickel for the chewy, fruity wagon wheels.
Help yourself. It's all yours.
Also worth mentioning, you can actually oil Toby again and get another nickel. In fact, you actually need to do that if you have the, both the history report in the future and the lunchbox in the prehistoric era. And I always hated it when he picked a red candy, because then it wouldn't change the color of his tongue. It was so stupid. Like, why did they even put red candies in there? Oh, for whatever reason, I skipped the medieval times. I don't know why I did that.
Age of the dinosaurs. I wonder how I can move this thing so I can drive through.
Oh, I accidentally triggered some click points.
Wowie zowie! It's a real live Brachiosaurus!
Ms. Brachiosaurus, and who or what in the primordial ooze are you?
I'm Putt-Putt, and I've
Welcome
come from
to
the
Jurassic
future.
Park.
I'm trying to drive across the road back there.
I just watched that movie for the first time in my life the other day.
That strange
So, I've had that on my mind for a while. And I've had the theme song for that movie stuck in my head as well, and now I can't stop thinking about it. In the middle of playing this game that's completely unrelated.
Not at all.
Oh boy.
I'd really appreciate it.
Random quirk I always noticed when I was little is that to trigger getting the dinosaur to move her tail, I would actually click off into the distance, the direction to move past it, where my sister would always click on the actual tail. I mean, you can do it either way, but yeah, you have to acknowledge it before you can actually get her to move her tail.
Hello, I'm Putt-Putt. Do you need some help? Yes, but first you gotta tell me, what in the heck is a Putt-Putt? I never laid eyes on anything quite like you before. I'm a car, and I'm visiting from the future. Whoa, imagine that! I'm Will, glad to meet you. Say, Putt, how'd you like to help me figure out how to move this basic pile of rocks? Then I can build me a bridge and go home. I'd be happy to help you, Will.
Yeah, slow machine mode also makes it so that the tar doesn't bubble and have the skeletons jumping around in it. Oh gosh. Poor video card can't handle all this action.
That was fantastic, stupendous.
Although amusingly, on the demo version of the game, that's also the case. The tar pit isn't animated, even if you got a good enough computer. The portals still shimmer, but guess they hadn't implemented it yet when they did the demo.
Great! Looks like we need a rock shaped like your basic pentagon. I'll keep an eye out for a rock in the shape of a pentagon, then you can cross your bridge.
This is how they fill in the obligatory education requirement. Isn't it convenient that the rock he was looking for was right there?
It's a rock in the shape of a
I was crossing my fingers hoping it wasn't going to be the square rock. Because then that would mean I'd have to go to the medieval time and then go back. Of course, it is most convenient when it is the Pentagon, because you know it's right there.
It will fit in the hole
course, there's nothing stopping you from picking up the rocks before that either, but you know.
Excellent.
You gotta love how even though we're in the prehistoric era, they still have roads paved perfectly for a modern car.
I wish I could get over to the other side of the canyon. I wonder how I can do it. Look at that! It's an apatosaurus.
An itchy and a horribly miserable apatosaurus at the moment.
My name's Putt-Putt, and maybe I can help you.
What a positively inspired idea. You could just roll on over to my back and scratch away this terrible itch.
But then I'd have to drive over your head.
Not a problem, Putt-Putt. I'm tough. I can take it. Just, scratch that spot. Please.
Good grief.
Ooh, now go a bit to the right.
I remember when I was little, I would always take his directions literally, and I wouldn't go in the direction his tail was pointing.
More to the right.
And then later I found out you actually are supposed to go in the direction he's pointing.
Yes. Yes. A bit more to the right. Ah. You got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I was happy to help. Mind if I drive over your tail to the other side?
As far as I'm concerned, Putt-Putt, you could drive on me all day.
Oh gosh, game's stuttering. Oh.
Be my guest.
Guess that wasn't too bad. There's a really bad stutter when we go to the medieval times. I'll acknowledge it when we get there. And of course, this screen's completely pointless because Pep isn't here. God, that background looks so weird without the waterfall going. When I was little, I could never get the timing right on getting Pep. Oh yeah, and I saved the game just in case something went wrong. Best save file name ever. I'm sure everybody else shares this memory with me, but I'd always type random jumbled nonsense whenever I saved the game.
Hello, Putt. Hello to you too, Will.
I just love the way he says that.
Where are my manners? Can I interest you in some fabulous, delicious, nutritious primordial soup? Made it myself. Sure, that would be great.
Apparently they had cooking in the prehistoric era.
Compliments of the house. Mmm, primordial soup tastes terrific. Hey, this is really an interesting bowl. Basically made that myself too. Why don't you keep it? I have another bowl. Gee, thanks, Will. Ah, don't mention it.
You gotta love how he's motionless staring at the motionless waterfall.
Oh, no. It's a vicious, strange something or other about to attack. I just know it.
No, it isn't.
Even when I was little, I noticed the slow machine mode, and it always had me scratching my head.
Of course I
And the 486 was the only computer I ever used that played the game like that.
Oh, gosh. I
One game where it actually drastically changed things was Balloon-O-Rama, because it plays only short segments of the music, the background music, instead of the whole thing. So, it also doesn't play the level end fanfares. So, yeah.
So, which one's first?
Let's move that one.
I never realized how many mini-games this game has. Humongous loved mini-games, but this one seems to have a lot more than usual. Let's see, you got 2 in this time period. You got 2 in the future. You have 1 in the... Well, actually, I guess you got 3 in the future if you're going to count the pet food minigame. Or 4 if you count the bookmaker.
Right.
The point is, there's a lot.
We made the picture. I sure had fun playing with those rocks. Thanks, T-Rex.
There is 1 in the medieval times, and then Animal Tracks. So yeah, I mean that's 8 mini games. Jeez. Or 9, maybe 10. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Okay, this is really hilarious. Just watch.
All right, watch this now real closely.
It's so slow. The whole time you're just like, any day now. Yeah, screw that. This is the obligatory puzzle you always knew how to do because the demo made it really easy to figure out.
Hubcaps, he likes it. I'm telling you, the guy's a total herbivore.
Here you go, boy. Great! Now I can get my history report.
Apologize if I'm not always talkative. Still trying to learn how to do commentaries well, so...
Got it! Now all I have to do is get Pep and my lunchbox, so Mr. Firebird can close the time portal.
It is worth mentioning, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I've been without internet for the last 3 days, because I moved to a different place, and I couldn't secure an installation until after the weekend, so... it's annoying. So I'm basically just doing this to tide myself over until I finally get internet. Okay, here's the stutter, so... Sometimes the CD drive just completely gives up and loses wherever the heck it was, and then it tries to spin up like 5 times before it finally gets back.
I must be in the middle.
It's really annoying when that happens.
That's my history report. That's my balloon maker.
I don't even know why I'm
That's my calculator.
clicking on this
That's
stuff.
my stone bull.
Good grief, so much stutter.
Excuse me, do you need some help? My, you are certainly the fancy carriage. I'm not a carriage exactly. I'm a car from the future. My name's Putt-Putt. Very happy to meet you, Putt-Putt. I'm Princess Chassie, and this is my best friend and loyal subject, Woodward. We had been out collecting wood for the blacksmith when a horrible rainstorm hit.
Golly, this flashback runs so hard.
As fast as we could. When I hit a bump, my wheel fell right off in the middle of the road. Well, maybe I can help you figure out a way to get that wheel back on. That would be wonderful, Putt-Putt. Now I wonder how we should do this. Okay, Princess Chassie, here's the plan. You lift up your friend Woodward, and I'll slip on his wheel. It would be my pleasure. Oh my goodness gracious sakes. Good thanks to both of you. You're welcome. Now I must hurry back to the castle. My father, King Chariot, is expecting me for story time. And I have to return with the blacksmith's firewood. Perhaps we'll see you later, Putt-Putt. Bye!
I do feel like the game ran a bit smoother whenever I'd play it on Windows 95. It always bothered me that the sprite for that handle was behind the gear.
This is some castle. Yes, it is. Only the rains have rusted the gates shut. We need something to help loosen them up. That's what I think. I think I have something that will work. This should help open that rusted gate.
He oils it exactly the same way as he does with Toby. Oh, I guess the lever is supposed to be behind the gear.
1,001 thank yous, Putt-Putt. Now I won't be late for story time. Hi, Woodward. Good to see you again, Putt-Putt. You're in for a regular treat. Because Sir Pound-A-Lot, my friend over there,
Sir Pound-A-Lot.
is the nicest blacksmith in the world. And
No comment.
Still work to be done.
Oh, the fire isn't animated. Come to think of it, I don't think there's ever any rhyme or reason for whether Toby needs the rope or the firewood. At this point, I think I was just getting kind of bored and wanted to get the game finished.
hello, I'm...
Do not tell me. Ah, yes. You must be from the future.
How did you know that?
You are not the only visitor I have encountered from another time. My name...
So, apparently time travel is common in this universe.
Merlin the magician? Wow!
You have traveled from a time very far away, and like all travelers, you must be looking for something.
I sure am.
Well, my friend, I believe you will find everything you are looking for.
I hope you're right.
I was like watching this machine run when I was little, even though it didn't even do anything. Of course, unless you had the lunchbox in the Old West.
Hep, I found you! Yikes! Don't jump, boy! That could be dangerous! Here, maybe I can reach you.
Of course, his reach is never enough.
I can't do it, Pep. Sorry. Wait a minute. something that will work.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Oh my gosh, so much lag.
Grab onto it quick, boy! Pep, I'm so glad I finally got you back! Now all I have to do is get my lunchbox so Mr. Firebird can close the time portal.
It is really odd to think that this is how I originally played the games when I was little. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot I didn't do the Crows minigame. But yeah, it is strange to think that this was how I had originally played the games, you know, on a computer that was just really weak.
Let's play with these.
It's almost kind of awkward, to be honest. Some games ran better than others. Like, Freddy Fish 1 runs pretty well on this thing. And Freddy Fish 3 actually runs pretty well, even though it came out after this game. Speaking of Freddy Fish 3, I remember when my sister and I first played it, we had a lot of trouble figuring out how to finish it. And I think when we first beat it, we were really excited. I think my parents actually got sick of hearing us brag about how we finished the game because we were so excited. It is a big deal when you're only 3 years old, after all. Yeah, Freddy Fish 3 I think I got in Christmas of 1998, so yeah, I was 3. Of course, last lousy point, gotta get the lunchbox.
Here's an ancient food container for you, Artifact. It's a really old stone bowl. I got it from a wheel way back in the dinosaur age.
The dinosaur ages, you say? How amazing! This will now be the oldest item we have in our museum. Here.
One really has to wonder how the time portals work, because, you know, if Puppet can use them, can't anybody else?
Thanks! Great! I got my Smokey the Fire Engine lunchbox back! Hot diggity, this is great! It looks like I got everything I needed to get. Come on, Pep. Let's travel back through time to Cardtown and tell Mr. Firebird.
I always like this scene right here where he comes out and there's the lightning.
Guess what? I did it! I did it! I found all my things.
There's a lot of lag going on here, too. Well, either way, I do hope you enjoyed watching this. No, it was kind of a boring commentary, but I'm gonna try and do a little bit more things like this in the future, hopefully. Been thinking of branching out a lot more and doing some more talkative stuff. I'm getting a little bit bored with doing all the walkthroughs and archival. And you know, I guess I'm just getting older at this point.
I thought time traveling was the best fun.
But I do hope you enjoyed this.
So much fun, Putt-Putt. But according to my calculations, you're going to be late for school unless you hurry.
Yipes, you're right, Mr. Firebird. I'll show you my report later. Here's my history report.
I love how the music had enough time to restart.
Now let me tell you what I learned.
Alrighty, that's pretty much it. And the credits run really slow because this video card can't handle them. 1, 2, 3, 4 doorstops swing open to places and time for you. That's where you'll find Pep. We feel it's sad that your homework is gone and everything's wrong, but it won't be for long. When you look up, you'll see that time doesn't stop because it goes. Oh my gosh, I completely lost my place. You'll see the Old West and visit a king and see dinosaurs and really neat future things. When you return, you'll know what you learned. Pay close attention, stay on your mission to see new dimensions. When you look up, you'll know that time doesn't stop, 'cause it goes on forever with you. Oh boy. I remember stringing with some internet friends and I sang that and they were so amused by it. Well, anyway, goodbye for now.